Hey folks, man, this is Monk, and we are back with another episode of Classes of Cinematics, and we're joined as always with my co-host. We got Bobby Blockbuster.
Yo, yo, yo.
Yeah, folks, and we got another heavy hitter today. This is a classic sci-fi film, and today we're going to be talking about The Fifth Element from 1997. And this is a film that's directed by the French auteur Luc Besson. You might know him from The Professional or La Femme Nikita, you know, things of that nature. Before he kind of, hasn't made a good film in a long time. He also did Taken, I want to point out.
Did you Taken?
What is up with this? Oh my God. This dude is wild, man. My man is wild, bro. Is that... I did not know he was going to do this, folks, man. This is crazy. This is wild. All right. See, I'm trying to take this seriously, Bob.
I'm too.
All right. So, the story goes as this. In the 23rd century, a New York City cabbie, Korben Dallas, finds the fate of the world in his hands when Leeloo falls into his cab. As the embodiment of the fifth element, Leeloo needs to combine with the other four to keep the approaching great evil from destroying the world. Together with Father Vito Cornelius and zany broadcaster Ruby Rhod, Dallas must race toward time and the wicked industrialist Zorg to save humanity.
Yeah, man.
So the cast of this film, it was pretty classic cast as well, man.
Yeah,
so we've got Milla Jovovich, who plays Leeloo. I think this was kind of her first major.
Yeah, definitely was her breakout role.
Major role. She had been in stuff before. I think Dazed and Confused was her first. Mainstream film. We got Bruce Willis in here. Chris Tucker as Ruby Rhod. We got Gary Oldman and let me see, Luke Perry. We also got Ian Holm. I'm just going to the major people. We got Tiny Zeus Lister
as the president of the 23rd century.
Yeah, we got Breon James. We also get a cameo from the musician Tricky. He's a British trip hop artist, if folks remember. Also get Lee Evans, Charlie Creed, Miles, Tim McMullen, Eve Savali. And I think we got Lenny McLean. Thinking about who else is popping up in here. Then Matthew Kasovitz. I think we hit all the majors. There's a lot of characters in this. Oh, also want to point out Al Matthews is in this as the General Tudor, and you might recognize him as Apone from Aliens. Good pull. Yeah. I'm not sure where this was filmed though. It seems like this film might have been filmed in
the movie. It's supposed to take place in New York, but I have no idea where it was filmed. I mean, shit, with all the special effects, probably in a computer lab.
Tricky is a British artist, and I think Al Matthews actually stayed in England after he got out of the army, which is why he ended up in Aliens, because that was done in England, and maybe this was filmed in England too, so maybe that's why he's popped up in this as well. I don't know the details on that. You got to look that up, folks. But this is a classic film for many reasons, man, and we're going to get into that. I think it's a sci-fi, masterpiece for the time. It's kind of one of the last ones that we saw before we started getting into the newer age with the newer Star Wars films and stuff like that. And I like the approach to this film because there is a lot of practical effects, but it also does have a lot of CG to complement those practical.
But it's good effects. CG, quality CG, new CG for its time. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and we still got the really dope set designs and costumes, man. So that's one of the things I do want to mention going into like it's like the look of this thing is fantastic, man. Like everything, it feels like we're in the future, because and it has like Blade Runner influences. Even his whole character makeup is really reminding me of Heavy Metal. That first sequence from that movie with the cabbie.
Definitely.
And there are scenes that also throw back to reference things like Blade Runner and stuff like that, man. That I think are pretty cool, man. So they do a great job, putting all that stuff together.
Definitely. And we're gonna dive into all that. But I mean, first and foremost, I think you can't talk about this film without talking about this story. I mean, it's your classic good versus evil, but the way that it's delivered with all this, the style, the grace, the confidence, and like you said, the amount of imagination and detail that goes into this concept. I mean, you got to think the dude who wrote this, he thought all this stuff up, bro. They said he started writing this screenplay when he was in middle school. You know what I mean? So as a youngin', and then turning into a young adult, and I mean, honestly, it's pretty much just he thought up, of the perfect being that wants to, protect and save humanity. That is the essence of life and love and innocence, and she is supposed to protect a species in human beings that is surrounded by hate, greed, death.
We some trash.
You know what I'm saying? And she's trying to figure out how to, find the balance. Are these people even worth saving? Are we worth saving? You know what I'm saying? And
I mean, it's this like I don't think the concept is like super deep, but the elements that he adds to it kind of make it more interesting than
yes.
I mean, basically, she's the chosen one. Kind of it's that kind of thing, and then you got this ominous presence that's she's destroying the world.
She's the ultimate good versus the ultimate evil. I mean, because when you look at, Mr. Shadow, who is our big bad, because we get a few bads in this, and we're gonna fine tooth comb that as well. But Mr. Shadow, he's pretty much just a ball of negative energy, and the more negative that you feed him, the stronger he grows. I mean, when you first meet this dude, he just looks like a version of the sun, almost. Like if the sun had a shadow over it.
Yeah.
And
that's the only thing that I bother with, because that's all we get with him. There's no I guess
we never see him.
Yeah, there's no physical, his real potential manifestation.
If he get a voice, we wouldn't be here doing the show, bro. He'd have took us all out.
We get a voice and a look, so I think maybe they might have just ran out of budget, or it worked for me. We know this bad thing is on the way.
Yes,
like I said, it sets it up. We know this presence is coming. It's like a dark seed or some shit. I think it's just the imagination of everything that brings this world to life, man.
Yes.
It's beautiful. Even when we're looking at his New York shit, there's flying cars. Even I thought that was well illustrated, where you're seeing highways in the air as he's driving through.
Like to have us living in the sky. I mean, it's genius in a sense, because what he was able to do was he was able to create an organic story with a new look and feel. This didn't feel like Star Wars. It didn't feel like anything that we saw before. These characters didn't remind us of any other characters. That felt like heavy
metal, though. Yeah, I'm telling you, that whole intro to this is funny because, he says when he wrote this or he started writing it, but that sequence, I think heavy metal probably came out like 17 years before this, somewhere around there. I can't remember the last, but that opening sequence where the strange girl ends up in his car and he's getting chased by the authorities, like that. But it was cool. I mean, it's not original, but it's still done well. Like seeing that realized in film, versus animation.
You see what I'm saying?
And like I said, man, this world is just beautiful. Like the effects they've got in here, the imagery that is employed, like it all comes together to give us like you talk about escapism when you're watching films sometimes, and this film truly takes you to another place.
The look of this film, the visuals, it's so visually stimulating, and it's nice to see the way that they portray this new future, this 23rd century, because like in films like The Terminator or Star Wars or even Alien, it's dark, it's gritty, it's rough, it's desolate. You don't want to live there. It's like, damn, I don't want to grow up. I want to be a Toys R Us kid forever. But in this, it's light, it's bright, the clothes are popping. Everyone seems to have this sense of comfortability and joy just to be alive in this world that they're living in.
Well, I love the costuming too, man. Like it feels like it's in the future. It feels like like everything has like a stylized look to it and everything. So like, it's pretty cool, man. There is some modern clothing in it, but the people who are doing well, they tend to have this look. The hairstyles seem futuristic. Yeah, it works to transport you, even though these things are being imagined and they're not real. They're not based on anything we've ever seen, but they do enough to give this thing a personality, which is wild because the budget on this thing, I'm not sure what the budget.
$80 million.
Oh, that was kind of high for the time.
$80 million, bro.
High at the time.
They got all $80 million worth.
Yeah. But it's crazy because I've seen films that cost more and they have done less. You know what I'm saying? Like it's amazing what they squeeze. Like the attention to detail. Like you gotta imagine the meetings that are going on just to decide set design and looks and just minor things. Like there's a scene where Bruce Willis toward the end where he's on the final mission and he's blending in. He's taking on the identity of some guy who won a contest to infiltrate the place. Yeah. And he's like, what am I going to wear? And the woman just pulls out a rack with just, and I'm like,
tuxedos. But it's funny because of all this futuristic clothing, right? Mm-hmm. In the 23rd century, a tuxedo is still a tuxedo because that 007 look never gets old.
But the detail to pull out that rack, though, to have that done like that, like that had to be planned, and someone had to build that and slide that out. That's crazy that they had. Like you're using your budget efficiently, I think. Versus just throwing it all on the CGI budget where everything is going to be just where it's going to computer animate,
right? But then also not just the clothing. I love the costume designs, but then we get the look of these cars, these flying cars that every vehicle feels like a spaceship. His broke down taxi cab looks like the coolest car ever. But then like you said, they have spaceships and this whole living in the sky where everyone's flying or cars are flying. It's like, God forbid if you fall out the window, you're going to fall forever.
But that's funny to me though. Like as we're looking at it, his cab looks cool, but imagine if you're living in that time, his cab's probably a beater.
That's what I'm saying. Like imagine like a Benz limo. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? In this time, in this setting. But you know what? Not just the cars, bro. The weapons. The weapons are solid. Yeah. When we get Zorg's ZF-1, dog, this gun has everything. Mm-hmm. Everything that one can think of. I mean, like the fact, like I said, somebody thought this up to have a gun that shoots fire but can also freeze you, that shoots poisonous darts. They'll shoot bullets, but then has some kind of feature where if you push this button, the first target that you shoot the first bullet at, every other bullet's going to go there too. Like, I mean, like you can tell that this guy who wrote the screenplay, he started writing it as a young man because it has a very childlike feel to it, but it's appealing to all ages. You know what I mean? Like I mean, not to discredit any adults. Fuck, we're adults too, but I don't got no grown individuals sitting down and being this, creative and this joyful with this world that they built. You know what I mean? It's just, the older we get skewed views, and you can tell that.
I'm pretty sure. You just hire young people. That's
it. That's it.
It's just, you get it done, man. I think that's a pretty cool thing, man.
Oh, and then, dude, not for nothing, they created their own language. I always love to see films where people speak this language, not just like, it's not just like a foreign language and what we're used to or adapted to hearing. They created the divine language, and they said that the Luke Benson and Milla Jovovich, since she's the only one you really hear speak this language, there was a time where they only communicated to each other in this language, so that way it would become second nature to her. That's why when she speaks it feels real. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's a wild detail right there, man. But I mean, it's also a film that's just full of like memorable characters as well. Yes. I mean, we've got like everyone, even from the beginning, man. I love, like we got my man. I forgot what's that? Luke Perry.
It was Luke Perry. 90210.
He's got a small role. This is probably the best act. Like that scene was better than anything he's done on 90210.
Yes,
but it's like, it sets it up, and you actually care about what's happening to these people in that moment. Then we get Bruce Willis, who, like I say, he's definitely a Han Solo type.
Yeah.
But Milla Jovovich's character is pretty cool. That sequence is pretty crazy. Her being reanimated.
Yeah. And, dude. I'm glad you said. Yes.
But at the same time, there were parts of it I didn't understand, because basically she's one of the dead soldiers. That gets. From that first sequence.
One of the Montezuma, yeah.
Yeah, but then, like, I guess they're reconstructing her, but I'm like, why is your armor so doofy and unwieldy?
When you see...
Is she really in that human form, or did they convert her to a more human form?
I think they convert her into, because I think it really just depends on... what planet she's on. And I mean, like you got to think about it like this. At the beginning, they say that the Montechiwan had the humans watching the Fifth Element for X amount of years until it was unsafe. So maybe they just felt it was only right to make
it looked like they were going to
form.
retrieve it at that time when they showed up.
Yeah,
but then that would make sense. Maybe though that particular group of them are from another planet where that physical shape actually makes sense, and maybe it's a planet with deeper gravity where they got to be heavier and more armored up. And
not for nothing, I mean, just shout out to Milla Jovovich for I mean, she bodies this role, bro. I mean, and they said that she beat out 3,000 other candidates for this film. And you can tell why she won in the amount of energy, the effort that she puts into her character. I mean,
it's interesting because it's rare that someone can go from one profession to something and do it pretty well, because she's been a solid actor over the years. People don't know she was practically a supermodel at one point, one of the highest, level professional models at the time, and then to go into acting and actually been pretty solid, had a pretty solid career,
and and for Bruce Willis, I think this was his bounce back film, because when you think of it,
in a way, because Pulp Fiction was a little bit before this.
That was a little before this.
I think that probably helped him get this role.
but then before Pulp Fiction, we were getting films like Billy Bigante and Hudson Hawk, which
I love Hudson Hawk. Though we gotta do that. We gotta do that.
Yeah, hey, I'm with Hudson Hawk, but
I love Hudson Hawk, but it wasn't a commercial success.
It wasn't to the masses. But then what really gives this movie a whole nother feel is when we get Chris Tucker. He brings the comedic value. He is the tone switcher as he is his character Ruby Rhod. I mean, you can look instantly. You can tell, like, this dude. It's said that Ruby Rhod was inspired by Michael Jackson and Prince.
Yeah,
and you can see that.
More Prince than
Yeah, more Prince. And they actually said that initially they were going to see if he would want to play the role, but I just don't. And I
don't see Prince in no other movie besides Purple Rain. Dude. That's it. We were blessed to get that from him, because he's
with the way Chris Tucker, his approach as Ruby Rhod, dog. It's like watching Smokey in outer space.
In a way, yeah.
It's just, I mean, his energy is.
He's flamboyant. He's like he's a male diva.
He is,
but he's also like a scoundrel. He loves the ladies.
He's not a good guy. He's not a good guy when it comes to his approach to the women.
You know what he reminds me of more than Prince though? He reminds me. He's like the Space Morris Day.
Yeah.
Morris Day from Purple Rain. I'm pretty sure Morris Day isn't like that in real life, but the Purple Rain version of Morris Day.
Oh my God.
That's Ruby Rhod.
I can see that, dude. But you know what?
With a little Prince thrown in.
We've gushed over the heroes, but you can't just talk about the heroes. This film is oversaturated with great villains. We get very good villains on a lot of different levels. I mean, for starters, you get my man, Vladimir McRae, who plays Agnot, who is the Mangalore leader. You know what I'm saying? Which I thought they look really cool. Like they look like something that's fresh out of Star Wars, but they're like the grunts. They're the pawns on the chessboard that are being.
What? I feel like they stole his design, or these guys' designs for the characters in Gears of War, man. If you've ever played that game, they definitely
I can see that. I can see that.
But I also liking this, man, which is interesting because the film that was made before this was a professional. So we get Gary Oldman, coming back as another bad guy, and he's eating up scenery.
Bro,
I think the acting in this film is okay, but there are certain actors in this thing that really shine, and he's one of them.
He is. Dude, as Zorg, he embodies his role. And it's funny because he said he tapped in what he wanted to deliver on screen, which I could see it 100%. He said he wanted to do a cross between then presidential candidate Ross Perot and Bugs Bunny.
What?
Yeah, I was like, well, I mean, I guess, but it works.
I don't see it, but whatever he did worked though. I don't. Those characters don't come to mind when I see his guy. But
I wouldn't even said it if I didn't read it on something that he quoted.
Yeah, but he's effective. He's effective.
Very effective.
He brings the energy that they're like, yo, this guy's serious, but he's also a nut too, and in a comical way. where they emphasize that those moments, and I think it's great.
Dude,
man.
he's an evil genius. I mean, because at the same time, you got this guy. I mean, it shows like he's living up in this high tower, like almost like how Biff was it was Biff in Back to the Future 2 after he got the almanac. Like Zorg is kind of giving that same energy, and
so he's like Galvatron in a way.
Yes,
where he's the boss, but as he has another boss, which is Unicron. Who's Unicron?
Yeah, Unicron.
Yeah. So
that would be Mr. Shadow.
Yeah, in this film. So that he's the Galvatron in this, but he's got a higher boss. Because there's moments where he starts flying a little too high, and the boss checks in.
Oh, he calls
hey, boy, like head start bleeding.
Yeah, dude, the blood just starts drawing. I was like, yo, that's power for real. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And that's what's really cool about this, because there is this hierarchy of evil. Like, you got Agnot as the little bad, and then all his goons, and then you get Zorg as the big bad. And normally that's where movies just stop. We got some bad people, and then we got the big bad. But then we get the big bad and Mr. Shadow, who is like, man, you don't even want him to unlock his potential. Because if he does, I mean, like I said, we all gonna fry.
Yeah. One other character I want to point out too, Tiny Zeus Lister. I had to look it up. He's not the first black president on film, but to go to that, you're gonna have to go back to movies that none of us have ever seen. But he's the first black president in if you were born, if you're old as me and Bob, or even a little older, he's going to be the first black president you've ever seen in a movie at this time. Because I think this precedes, what was the one with the comet with Morgan Freeman? I think this precedes that.
Is that Event Horizon?
Nah, I forgot the name of that film, but I think this comes out before that. Okay. So technically, he's the first black president that most folks remember, man.
Yes.
Shout out
and
to
this was after he took my man's bike on Friday. You know what I'm saying? Talk about a come up, dog.
This is the funny part to me, because I don't think he gave the best performance in this film. Maybe he just took it as a paycheck and didn't consider it.
I mean, look at his line work.
Okay. His lines is kind of like
delivered like choppy.
I was like, bro, take the serious Zeus, but still,
he doesn't have to. He's the president. What's he got to do, dog? He already made it, dog. What's he got to do?
That's it, man. Yeah, I almost feel like what was the Shadow guy? What's the name?
Mr. Shadow.
Mr. Shadow. I feel like he was about to say, man, let's just take his bike. Like,
yes, I know, right? Let's put wheels on that planet and roll out.
Like, this is my Earth.
Yeah, exactly.
but it works, man. It's cool, bro. Man. I'll rock with it.
You know what else I love about this, man? I love the music. I mean, we get all of these elements of music, which really tie this film together, but nothing hits harder than the concert. When the Diva Plava Laguna starts singing, bro. I mean,
the singing was all right. You was like, yo, she can sing, but then when it breaks down,
that's what I was just about to say.
When the action starts,
she was actually voiced over by a real opera singer who said that the way the levels that she was singing in whatever octaves and opera talk, I don't know, I don't speak doctor language either, but no human being can actually do that. So they had to record that segment in pieces because the human vocals cannot hit those chords all like in succession the way she did. But dude, I love the way it starts off. It's just like, it's elegant, it's seductive.
Yeah, it sounds more like traditional opera.
Yes, exactly. And then but then at the same time, you know what I'm saying? It's creating this energy, and you're like, whoa, it's locking you in. It's pull me in. Like, I was a fish on the hook. I was reeled in. And then next thing you know, the beat drops. And at the same time, she starts, right? Milla Jovovich is beating up the Mangalores like it's the thing to do. She's chopping them down. We finally get to see the fifth element, why she's so confident in herself. Like, she's telling Bruce Willis, man, I'm here to protect you. I'm here to protect the world. I'm going to save the world, bro.
As the diva's going, breaking it down, the action is
so
happening
big, blue, and beautiful, dog. Like, it's insane. Yeah, it's
I think Janelle Monáe dressed like her recently for I don't know if it was this year or the year before, dressed as the diva for Halloween. It was like dead on. I was like, yo.
But then it's cool because, after we get this scene, I mean, this scene sets the tone for the third phase, where this this film, then it goes.
Oh, we already in the third phase.
Levels up. By this happens, I mean,
this is like the peak of the third phase.
This is the pick. Yes, this is the top of the mountain, because then not only do we have this cool ass concert, but then it all goes down. Shots ring out because the Mangalores are there already, and then it is chaos. It is all out
and
warfare.
I think that's where Luc Besson's touch is also showing this, because this is a cool film, but he also has like I said, Femme Nikita, professional music there. But that action sequence is hitting notes. You can see it in the sequences, and that when Dallas he's got to do his thing, you know what I'm saying?
And he does it well.
And you see the action, the gunplay and all that, and them jumping around, and I'm like,
explosions, a high body count.
Yeah, you can definitely see the style elements of Luc Besson's previous work showing up in here, man. So that's pretty cool.
I mean, and then after we get all this high energy and the blood really starts flowing, he makes sure that your heart still works, because then you get this this emotional compass, this sense of feeling, because at this point our main character in Leeloo, she's like, man, I don't even know if y'all were saving. Like, what's the point of loving? I wasn't made to love, I was made to protect, bro. And then like Bruce Willis was like, man, I said it out the gate. I'm just looking for the perfect woman, man, and you're perfect.
That was a little goofy though. That he had to be the romantically involved with this thing.
Oh man, he was the broken-hearted soldier, man.
That's a little bit of cheese that they're doing this. That I was like,
you put that cheese on my Ritz any day, dog. I'm eating that shit up. I'm eating it up, bro.
Come on, man. That shit made me misty, dog. That is the only thing that I think. We get that cool action sequence, but when the final thing plays out, I think the president said we got like hour and a half until the shadow dude gets here, and blah, blah, blah. I felt like that was a little rushed, man, because that whole conclusion, when we see how that plays out, and basically he cuts the president off. Yeah, he's like, yo, I'll call you back in an hour and a half, and then he goes and does whatever. But it's like they rushed to wrap that up. Next thing you know, the credits are coming up, and I'm
felt rushed. But then again, I mean, when you look at what's going on at that phase in the film, like, they were rushed. You know what I'm saying? So like the energy's going, the wheels are turning. So it's like, man, we got literally 23 minutes. I think he
ran out of ideas of how to smoothly play out the end of this.
I see what you're saying.
It's abrupt,
but it still works for me, man.
Yeah, it's still good. For me, dude. It's not perfect, but it's still a good film, man. Like, I mean, definitely. Like, it's one of these things. Is not like, I'm not going to hold that totally against it. But I did notice that when I was rewatching it just now.
I hear you. And but that's the thing, bro. Like, this film, I mean, like, for all intents and purposes, it hits almost every note.
It did like 36 Chamber of Shaolin, yo. Remember that when he fights the last guy and he's just like, whoop, 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 and the next thing you know, the credits is coming. Like, hold up, let my man talk a little bit, or like something. Shit.
But I mean, the way they bring it full circle, though, I mean, it's cool. They saved the world. And I don't know who the actress was who played Korben Dallas's mom, but she only has like limited airtime, and we don't even see her. But every time she's on the horn, she's like just ripping someone a new one. She even rips Zeus. She's like, you're not the president. The president's an idiot. You don't sound like an idiot. And like, that was funny. And then Bruce and Leeloo, they love each other. They're happy. You can tell they're gonna live a perfect life for the rest of the And I mean,
that's definitely felt like something a 12-year-old would write.
Absolutely, because you know what I'm saying. Because you ain't grown yet. You don't know how this shit work in real life, bro.
You gotta update that when you get a little older, man.
But I mean, all in all, bro. All in all, I mean, when you look at this film, it has everything. I mean, you get the slight horror element in some of the characters. You get the action. You get the thrills. You get the comedic value, and then you get the romance. Like, I mean, this is a grand slam film, dog. Like, when you really look at it, it covered all the bases, man. Mm-hmm. And for the sci-fi world, it was able to create its own lane. Like, when you watch this film, it might make you think of other sci-fi films, but it does not like remind you of them. Like, oh, I've seen this before. This when you
kind of does though.
Not for me.
I mean, it did its own thing, but it's heavily influenced by previous work.
Well, shit. I mean, everything's heavily influenced.
Yeah, but that's not a knock. I'm just saying, acknowledge that. Like, it's not like it's totally original idea.
No, I mean, we're past that point. But this one, it created its own lane. I feel like this. You can watch this. It's a standalone film. It's not like you're going to see tidbits, but of other things, just due to the timing that this came out. But it also you know, with what they did with the camera work and the CG work and the usage of the budget and then the usage of this cast, I mean, they kind of, you know, they imprinted themselves they engraved in stone their own, you know, justifiable right to say, hey, we are a part of the sci-fi community, and you know, we're not just piggybacking off Star Wars.
Mm-hmm. Yes, I think we can wrap this thing up, man. And you know what I'm saying?
Oh, so that being said, to everyone who watches the shows from the beginning to the end, there is one thing that we're going to do special today that we have not done yet, but we're doing it today. So we're dropping a trivia question, and whoever is the first one to put the answer in the comment box will get this customized hat that will be signed by me and Monk. You know what I'm saying? And then what we'll do is we will, you know, you drop the answer.
You made this?
I made this, bro.
My man got a pad on this for your head. Like, wow.
Hey, I'm creative, bro. You know what I'm saying? I'm about to break out my air guitar.
I did not know this was going to happen today, folks.
Yes, get the customized hat. We're going to sign it on the end of this show, so that way you see what you're getting. First person to drop the answer to the trivia question, and then we'll find a way to you reach out to us or something, or one of our Instagrams. Give us an address, and then we'll mail it to you. You know what I'm saying? Because, you know, we got ways to make this happen. So first things first, the trivia question will be, what is Zorg's full name?
Okay.
And you know what I'm saying, I'm gonna go ahead and sign this thing right quick.
Alright, and I'm gonna sign this thing. And I want to remind y'all to subscribe to the channel if you stuck around this long. Also, purchase you a Classic Cinematics t-shirt. The link will be right below in this video. And yo, just support us, man. Tell your friends about us.
It don't just have to be a shirt, man. There's coffee mugs, there's stickers, dog.
We got hoodies.
Yeah, hoodies.
You want to put it on your phone case?
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? What else we got? We got coffee mugs. Did we already say that?
Yeah, coffee mugs. I don't even think either one of us drink coffee, but we still got them, bro.
You want a sign to put on the back of your whatever?
We got posters, dog. You know what I'm saying? Man, there's all kinds of stuff. You know what I mean? We'll make it happen, man. We'll make it happen. Just keep watching, keep supporting, keep you know, just keep doing what y'all doing. We'll keep doing what we doing, man. And that's
kind of dark. I should have probably do this in the red. Yeah, all right. So mine's gonna look 3D because we got red in. All right, man.
There we go.
What else we got, man? What else we got?
Well, we're working on getting some candles going, man. You know what I'm saying?
You know what I'm saying?
We're gonna get the candles going. First, I mean, shit, man. And you know, I don't know, man. I'm feeling creative right now. Maybe we might end up having belts on there, dogs.
Belts on. Oh my god. Yeah. So look, folks, you can get these. We got our John Hancock.
And this is the only one. There ain't no more of these made. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Hand constructed, handcrafted by yours truly. You know what I mean?
Hat from Fifth Element. And we out of here, folks, man. We're going to catch y'all next time, man. I don't know what the next movie's going to be, but stay tuned.
Oh, and that's Monk. You can catch him on all those Instagram.
Yeah, I forgot about that.
Yeah. I got you, bro.
Yeah, and this has been Monk. You catch me at Monkey Blood on Twitter and Instagram. Follow us at Classics of Cinematics on Instagram, and follow the Greater from the Canopy Network, because without them we wouldn't be having a space to put this up for y'all at FTC Net on Instagram.
Yes. And this Bobby Blockbuster. You can catch me on Instagram at Bobby Blockbuster 1810.
All right, we out of here.
Wow.
Peace.